It's Juni, checking back in with all of you. Still looking at little Michael Monkey Vaughan. I know I don't have anyone on yet, but I'm going to talk just in case any of you do join, and you can, rewind and look at it from the beginning if you need to. So I am looking at little Michael Vaughan, and there's 4 suspects that law enforcement has issued as, suspects. One is Sarah Wondra, and the other is Stacey Wondra. Hello. Welcome, anyone coming in. We're just looking at Michael Vaughan, again, looking at his astrology. I was curious about the date of April 13th, around dinner time. This is Sarah's dinner. I believe that she wanted to. Now, these Sarah and Stacey Wondra are considered suspects. It's the yard that they dug up in Michael Vaughan's disappearance. And they did have cadaver dogs, did hit on some type of decomposition. They did not find skeletal remains or any human remains, but they did find evidence of something in the backyard. Let's see. Looks like it says here in this article, heavy equipment was used to remove 250 yards of dirt, which was meticulously sifted for evidence. Evacuation was completed on November the 18th. They did not find remains of Michael, although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered. We strongly believe. Hold on, I keep losing my place. I get my words mixed up. Give me a second. We did not find Michael's remain, Huff said. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. Law enforcement served a search warrant at the residence on November the 11th. Police finding Sarah Wondra, 35, alone in the house. She was arrested on November the 12th on probable cause that she had knowledge of Vaughan's death and failed to report it to law enforcement with intent to prevent discovery of the manner of death. So she is considered mentally unfit, and this is kind of the beginning of a lot of this. Is on April 13th. It was her and Stacey's, hey Karen, it was her and Stacey's anniversary, and she wanted to cook dinner for her husband. And they had roommates living there. They took in a bunch of homeless people, some who are not of the best upstanding citizens in the world. And Tanner, one of the roommates, wanted to cook for them for their anniversary dinner. She freaked out. She said no, that he couldn't cook, and that, she then pulled a gun in his face and was freaking out. I'm not sure if she hit him with a dog bone, but I know there's a gun involved. Then she tried to take the gun over to her parents' house to kind of hide it. I think they found Vicodin there or some type of controlled substance there that she had an expired prescription for. Anyway, it wasn't good, okay? And this is kind of the beginning of it all. So, hello. It's good to see you. Is that Tanira? Hello. So, just looking at this, I have a couple of oppositions here. You can see there's these oppositions. And I have... I pulled up some asteroids. I have Michael here in the first house, getting ready to go into the 12th house of endings and sorrows. I have Stacey and Sarah in the 12th house of endings and sorrows, both at the 22nd degree. So I wasn't sure exactly what time all this went down. but I mean, it had something to do with the dinner, so I put in, later in the afternoon. So I have DNA in the house of death and transformation, which I find that suspicious. We have the moon making an opposition to Neptune. And we have the moon making an opposition to Jupiter as well, because these two are at the same degrees. 24 degrees. That's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's a Neptune degrees as well. So I have Neptune at a Neptune degree. So that's a strong Neptune, and it's in the house of Pisces. So excuse me, that is strong, okay? So there's something secretive here, secret enemies, something, a secret about somebody's health, a secret about somebody's mental health. I mean, obviously we have an attack here. There's an enemy here, and there's an attack. So, and this is the house of service, health, and, doing your everyday routines. So there is some type of an attack here in Sarah's everyday routines. And this could be her wanting to, be a housewife, cook a meal for her husband for their anniversary. Hey, Brooke. Brooke's Funhouse. It's nice to see you. So this could be her wanting to, prepare a meal for her spouse with all this activity here in the 6th house, because it is when you are of service to others. However, there is some type of secret, and there some type of, obviously we know she's mentally ill, but the chart is hinting around to somebody is mentally unstable. I would say definitely. I have Pluto making a square to the sun. So Pluto coming up here, right here. Pluto coming up to the sun like that. That is power and control. Again, we have the sun at a Neptune degrees, and, Pisces rules things that are done in secret, pillow talk. It can be drugs, delusions, lies, deceit, something's clouded, some type of fog is here in this situation. I'm really not digging how I have Sarah and Stacey here in the 12th house of endings and sorrows with the moon. The moon is at a 18th degree. Again, that is in Virgo, so that's someone trying to be of service to others. But with the moon there, this is some type of mental distress in some, I would say, in someone's mental health with Virgo. She's wanting to do something nice for someone, but there's some type of mental challenge here. I'm still not liking the fact that I have Algol with child, Algol conjunct the North Node. So this is chaos, confusion. This can also be conspiracies, and it also can be a head wound, some type of assault, okay, because Algol is the demon that is affecting their future, their destiny, at a 22 degrees, which is a kill or be killed degree. I have Uranus, which is the planet of shocking events, with Taurus, which can be a garden shed. It could be with property, with someone's property. So a shocking event on someone's property, in the garden. That's interesting. Because at this point, they have not dug up the yard yet. Mercury there, it can represent more than one person. It can represent two people younger than 30. I have DNA here as well in the house of death. And if I'm asking where is Michael, I have DNA in the house of death and transformation. So there is some type of power struggle here with ego, and Pluto being with ego and control. So Mars is at the 29th degree, which is a fated degree. It's an anaretic degree. It's not the best degree. All right, so let's just try to see if I'm going to just try to map out the moon, Saturn, and let's try to map out the moon, Saturn. Hey, Sweetly, it's good to see you. Hey, Maura. It's good to see you guys. I'm not really watching the chat, so if it gets crazy, I'm not really watching it. Let me just pull up a fixed star for 18 degrees of Virgo and see what this chart is telling us. Because the fixed stars can kind of give us little, fixed stars are kind of like the sprinkles on a cupcake. Kind of gives you a little bit more background. And I am not happy that I'm seeing Sarah, Stacey, and Michael here. Again, all suspects are innocent in a court of law. I'm not saying that they're guilty. I'm just saying that it's suspicious that I have Michael, Sarah, and Stacey all clumped together here with the moon. And the moon can represent a second co-ruler of where a victim could be. A victim could be located, or something surrounding this victim. The energy of this house and the energy of this sign can surround the victim. So I have 18 degrees of Virgo. So I would say we're here. This is Kirsty McIntosh's book. You guys know I talk about Kirsty all the time. She gives us a list of fixed stars that I really appreciate. Here is her book, Understanding the Crime Chart by Kirsty McIntosh, Criminal Astrology, Volume 1. So here she gives us a list of fixed stars. So I'm looking at 15 degrees because I'm at 18 degrees. So I'm going to look at all the fixed stars that are above their heads here during this time on the chart, okay? So I have, see, connected with fires, catastrophic extent, mass calamities. It says lack of control, lack of imagination, having undesirable associates. That's kind of interesting. Undesirable associates, mental illness. Happiness turns to despair, disease, natural disasters, catastrophes. So yeah, these are the fixed stars that are kind of floating around Sarah's head, I would say. It's interesting how it says undesirable associates. Very interesting, because it's a house full of roommates that are shady as fuck. Allegedly. All of them, see, Adrien, I believe he has a trafficking charge. I don't think it's human trafficking. I think he has aggravated drug trafficking. So when they add aggravated to someone's charge, who is the other suspect in this whole scenario, he has an aggravated trafficking charge, which is means that there is an aggravated extent to his drug trafficking charge. Now, I don't know if it's human trafficking, but I'm pretty sure it's usually used for drug trafficking. And it means that he either dealt drugs around a minor, or there could have been a school nearby, or that there's something a little bit more sinister to a charge when it has aggravated attached to it. So anytime they have aggravated attached to anything, it means that they want to up the ante and make it a felony, right? So it's a way that law enforcement uses that aggravated word to up your charge to make it a felony. Hey, Aggie. It's good to see you. Okay, so I just want to try to see. I'm going to map out. We should map out the moon. We should map out the sun, DNA. Well, sun and DNA are pretty close to each other. Should map out Saturn. I should map out the moon. I should map out Pluto. And see, it's interesting. Pluto with power and control, a shocking event at the home. So, and Capricorn. So this is someone trying to wanting control. I'm not sure if Sarah is a control freak, but someone is a control freak in this on this chart. Someone is extremely controlling at this home. For sure. Allegedly. Okay. So let's go to Scribble Maps, and we have the moon is at 18 degrees in Virgo. I keep losing my pen or my pencil every 5 seconds. Give me a second. I gotta go down there and get my pencil. This is like my 10th pen that I've grabbed, and I'm trying to cover up with a blanket because it's chilly. Okay. Get my book out. 18 degrees moon in Virgo. Let me add this up. 0 and 8. 8, 6, 5 plus 1 is 6. 168. So that's 168 degrees on Michael's map. You guys doing okay? Yeah, this is Sarah's April 13th, you know, her dinner, her disaster dinner that started this whole thing. And I'm just interested if this chart, excuse me, if this chart matches up with Michael's 911 chart, right? So I'm going to go over their house and map out 168 degrees and see if it matches up with any other lines. Now, this is just an experiment, okay? There is the Wanderer's house. This is the line of Jupiter that rules Michael. You can see even in this satellite image that the yard is still dug up from where they were looking for Michael Vaughan's remains. So let's just see where 168 degrees takes me for the moon. Now, I'm not accusing these suspects of doing anything. I'm just looking at the astrology on this particular day and seeing if it maps me back to Michael's house or seeing any connections here. And, yeah, just want to see if it maps me back to where Michael was last seen alive. Because then there's a connection. And, of course, this is just astrology. We're not supposed to take it as fact. But it's interesting that it's mapping out these suspects over and over again. Is the universe trying to tell us something, or is it all just a coincidence? I don't know. That's up for you guys to decide. I'm just here to give you what the planets are telling us. Doesn't mean that you have to take it as fact. So in red is the 911 chart for when Michael went missing. In this purple color is the day that law enforcement, I would say, really tuned into the Wanderers. And if this maps me out to this boy's, to Michael Vaughan's house, just, my stomach is sick inside if it does. All right, so it takes me across his line of Jupiter, takes me across the line of Saturn, and it looks like it's going to take me down into Kuna. See if it takes me to Brandon's, excuse me, around where Brandon was at. Brandon's mom's house. Close by. Interesting. Takes me near Venus. And Venus is about money. Okay. So let's look at the moon. And that's the moon. Let's look at Saturn. Saturn is at 23 degrees in Aquarius. So that's 323. Everybody doing okay? Hey, Astrology for Mystics. Everybody, this is Astrology for Mystics. This is Jen. This is the channel that I was talking about. What is his address? All I found was SW 9th Street. I think it's the 119 is his house. But I believe an eyewitness account is here. So that's why I've been doing it from this corner, because there was an eyewitness account that saw him right here. So, I'm going to drive Jen crazy because she does her charts so fast and so well. I'm sure Kirsty looks at my charts too, and it drives her crazy because I'm super slow. Right here is where he was last seen. But I'm pretty sure that this is the house that he, went missing from. But this is the last known location right here, right on the corner. So it's not too far off. So that line of Jupiter goes right into the Wanderer's backyard, Jen. It really freaks me out. So this is Jen. Yeah, the river, especially with Saturn and Pisces so active in his chart. Everyone, if you can give Jen a subscribe and check her channel out, I'd really appreciate it. She's done a lot of work on Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers, Layla, a lot of the missing people from Tennessee. She's really on it. She does very layered and detailed maps. I'm a newbie. I'm just beginning. You guys are with me on my journey of learning, but she's been doing this a lot longer than me, okay? So if you guys could check her out, I'd really appreciate it. It would be great. Okay, so 323 is Saturn. So let me just see if this chart matches up with the other chart. Okay. 323. I haven't been able to figure out how to share my screen with you guys yet because I got blocked out of this laptop. So, I can't share, I can't share my screen, so I have to do it this way. I know it's kind of discombobulated, but I hope you guys can see the chart okay. This is going to take me right on the line of Jupiter, I believe, which is in the 911 call is ruling Michael. Now, this doesn't prove anything, but it is interesting that, you know, before, you know, this is Sarah Wondra's dinner chart, all right? When she calls 911 on the roommate and she has that huge fight with the roommate and ends up getting arrested. She pulls a gun on the roommate. And I'm pretty sure she hits the roommate with a dog bone. And I find it very interesting, okay, that it's mapping up with his line of Jupiter. All right. And this line rules the victim. From the 911 call. And Saturn can rule the physical body. He rules hair, skin, nails, DNA. So I have Saturn and Jupiter lining up together. So I would say this is an area that they should definitely check for Michael. For sure. Because it's matching, it's making a little pie section with the victim and with Saturn being, you know, it can rule a dead body. Basically. I mean, I hate to say that. We always want to keep hope alive for these victims, but law enforcement has publicly announced that they do feel that Michael is deceased. But I still want to try to keep hope alive, even though law enforcement has announced that. You know, we always want to keep hope alive. Sorry, that's my dog moving on the bed. You guys doing okay? Give me 1 second. I'll look at chat in 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Yep. Darling, we all have to learn, and we have to learn from one another. Yes. I just pulled up the event chart when he went missing. I'm using 6:40. Okay, I use 6:30. What time I'm using? I have 6:30. So it's not that much of a difference. Law enforcement believes that he went missing, or that he might have been taken, I believe, between 6:30 and 6:47 is kind of like, 6:30 and 6:47 is kind of like the prime time. So this is the 6:30 chart that I was using. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Here. And I did, I entered suspects' names. I usually don't enter people's names unless they are listed as, like, suspects. You know, if it's just a name that's involved in the case, I usually cross that out. Because I really don't want to accuse anyone, per se. But I just really, there's just been so much conflict and confusion with these specific suspects. I entered their names, and I wanted to kind of show you guys where they're showing up on the chart. Doesn't mean that I'm accusing them. I just, you know, am looking at them, okay? So I did have Sarah and Stacey show up in the 8th house of death and transformation. I have Pluto in the 1st house in Capricorn, so to me that's a lot of power, control. It's just not good. I have Sarah also in the 1st house, And I also have Adrien showing up in the first house. And I follow them up into the 12th, where they, into the house of sorrow and endings. I have Adrien up at in the 9th house, and I also have Adrien and Brandon in the 7th house, which can rule open enemies. I also have Mercury as well, which can rule open enemies, you know, in the neighborhood, and 2 people, and a car, a vehicle as well. Mars is more so the vehicle, but Mercury can represent transportation and movement, and that's at a 29th degree. And I have Brandon smack dab on the DC line, 22 degrees. That's a killer be killed degree is on the DC line. And Gemini, so it means 2 people, and 2 people that could be younger than 30, possibly involved in this crime, 30 or younger, right? So I don't know why my computer keeps doing that. All right, so let's look at back to April 13th on, I believe this was the actual, I'm not sure if April 13th is Stacey and Sarah's actual anniversary, but she was trying to cook this meal for her husband, and this is when all hell broke loose and she gets in big trouble. So the moon, Saturn, and let me map out Pluto and just see if there's any connection with that. I should do the sun, because the sun can represent a vital life force. It is interesting that I have child up there with Algol. The north node is at a 22 degrees as well. So let me just do, see, I just did Saturn. Let me do Pluto. So Pluto is in Capricorn. Where's my book? I keep putting stuff down and then I lose it. I just lost my whole book. Let me stand up because I can't find my book. That is so weird. Like, disappeared. How in the heck did that just happen? Maybe my dog's sitting on it because she just moved. Yep, the dog's sitting on it. I'm losing my mind. Hold on. Daisy, move your big butt. Ugh. Okay. Jeez, I have a big pit bull snoring next to me, so God only knows what you'll hear in the background. She's always making noises in the background. Okay, so let's see. Pluto, Capricorn, I would say 270 plus 90, 298. Yeah, 298. Okay. So this is Pluto. And that was Saturn. Saturn. I'll do Saturn April 13th chart, or see, how should I list this? Saturn, Sarah's dinner chart. Sarah's dinner chart. Just so I don't get it confused. Okay. So, you're sick with the flu? I'm so sorry. Someone else was just saying they were sick with the flu. The real Gemini was sick too. A lot of people are sick. Is it COVID or is it just the stomach flu? Okay. Do you have a fever or anything, Brooke? Okay, so Pluto is hanging out with the original Saturn from the 911 call. That's kind of interesting. Now, this is just me kind of messing around with dates and times, you know. It's just that Saturn rules, you know, can rule skeletal remains, and Pluto can rule death, transformation, or some type of pressure that a victim is under. So it is interesting to me that it's matching up here, making these little pies. I find that very interesting. Just, I mean, doesn't prove anything. It's just very interesting. That's all. Again, it could be a coincidence. Right? I mean, could be a coincidence. Hold on, I gotta go back. Because I lost the number. 298. That's my daughter in the other room playing a game. She's so loud. That's my Aries in the other room playing a shooting game. So you're gonna hear some pretty crazy stuff. She's a gamer. Okay. That's interesting, guys. I just find that very interesting. I definitely think these areas should be searched. For sure. Is the couple the only suspects, or was there an additional? See, Karen asks, is Is the couple the only suspects, or was there an additional 2 other friends with them at the time? So there's 4, law enforcement has listed 4 suspects. Adrien, I can't pronounce his last name. I think it's Lucien and Adrien, I'm sorry, and, my brain is fried. Brandon Shirtliff, Adrien Lucien, Sarah Wondra, and Stacey Wondra. There was other people that were living in that house. Tanner, I think Sarah attacked Tanner for this chart. For this chart, she pulled a gun on the other roommate. But law enforcement feels that it's the other 2 roommates that have information regarding Michael Vaughan, allegedly. I hope that makes sense. It's a very confusing case with all of these suspects and roommates and businesses and all the traveling that they did. They did a lot of traveling that day. So it's a crazy chart. But it is interesting how it's matching up with the 911 chart. So the day that she gets arrested, all those months later, after Michael Vaughan goes missing, it is matching up to other events the day Michael went missing. So I find that interesting. Okay, again, it doesn't mean that I'm accusing them of anything. To me, it's very interesting. Very interesting. I hope that makes sense. You guys understand kind of why I wanted to layer it, right? Because this 911 call of when she has this fight with this roommate is when it opens up a whole can of worms for all of this other stuff that's going on, right? I do find it very interesting. I have the devil degree. This is the degree of the devil, representing at the home, could possibly be a female trying to be of service to someone because it's in Virgo, and she was trying to cook a meal. So to me, this is all this, but there's something secretive here about it because it's in the 12th house. I have Stacey there, I have Sarah, and I have Michael. And Michael is who Michael is who we're trying to find, and he is smack dab on the AC line. The AC line can represent a victim in a crime chart. And does the universe do this on purpose? Is it just a coincidence that the universe has pulled Michael's asteroid and slapped it right smack dab on the AC line? I don't think that's a coincidence. I think the universe knows exactly what the hell's going on with these crime cases. I really do. Call me crazy or what, but how does the universe pull an asteroid that's got Michael's name on it? And I have it Michael V, okay? So it would be more so representative of little Michael, and it's smack dab on a line, on this line that represents the victim. This rules a victim. And Sarah and Stacey, they're all in the 12th house. The 12th house is, retreat, escape, something that is hidden, release your unconscious thoughts. It also rules pillow talk. It also can rule, it is kind of the house of trafficking, because it kind of is like shipping people. Like you think of like FedEx. That kind of represents the 12th house. So it is very interesting that we have these houses showing up. So my house is getting ready to just go crazy because my husband just got home. So, and my daughter. So I'm going to have to finish up cooking dinner. But I just wanted to kind of map out some of these spots. So we did Saturn. We did Pluto. Let's do the sun and see if the sun matches up to any other lines on the chart. So it's at a 0 degrees because it's in Aries. So that would be just 24. So let's see what 24 takes me. Any idea his time of birth? his mom active in the search for her son? Yes, his mom is very active. Yes, Tanner moved a grill in their backyard, and Sarah beats Tanner with a dog bone, then pulls a gun on Tanner. Yeah, she pulled the gun and had it in his face. It's crazy. Any idea his time of birth? No, I don't. I don't know his time of birth. Anything you could do would be so helpful. Hey, Susie Q. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, you had to go out of town? You had to go. Made it. Sorry, we had to go to town. Are you okay now? I'm not sure if she has given his birth time or not. I'm nervous to ask, you know. Buffered out and my internet went completely dead. And the whole house went woof. Like you could hear the energy just kind of suck out of the house. I'm really sorry. Hopefully you guys will come back. Yeah, my internet sucks here. I live in the city and this house is solid stone. And we really struggle with internet here. I'm not really sure because we have Comcast. It's supposed to be really good. So I'm not really sure. Oh, is Astrology for Mystics, is she still in? Do you want me to show you where? Okay. Sorry, my internet sucks. Not sure if it's your end or mine. No, it's my end. Mine went completely out. Yeah. Do you want me to show you where I found car? Because I just saw your message on that short that I did for Sebastian Rogers. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. Sorry, Aggie. Sorry, everyone. So for Sebastian, and even for Michael, I think I pulled car for Michael, too. Yeah, because car showed up for Michael in the 7th house. So let me see if I can pull it up again. So I only am familiar with astro.com, and I really struggle looking at other I struggle looking at other charts, and I know I need to get a better program, like you mentioned. I just struggle with reading charts sometimes because I struggle with, well, dyslexia. And so I've learned off this one because this is the one that Kirsty McIntosh kind of uses a lot. So my eyes are kind of used to this one, you know what I mean? So sometimes when I look at other charts, I get, it's like discombobulated to me. So I went to asteroid name, and then I pulled up C, and pulled up car here in there. So this is how their Astro data bank shows up. Does that make sense? It is interesting, right? That's why I wanted to tell you about it. Because, I mean, I'm still learning all the degrees, but you're really good with the degrees. And when you said that, I was like, I should tell her about the car degree. Because for me, when you look it up, like in the asteroid data bank, and it gives a description of what it is, it says that it's for cargo. So it's not necessarily like, it's not necessarily like transportation of humans, but if you think about it in a crime chart, it's like transportation of, like, where a person is delivered as, like, in how I look at it, is like a person's delivered as like a package, right? Or like a person is kind of and it's spelled C-A-R-R, not C-A-R. So that's why I kind of use it a lot. I use it a lot right here. It's asteroid number 3837. So let's just see where it shows up for Michael Vaughan. I'm pretty sure it was near Mercury. Dang it. No, it didn't show up near Mercury. Where's it at? it's showing up in the 11th house in Aries for, let's see, for this chart, for the April 13th dinner. So you can kind of see where I get it from. Does that make sense? Hey, Julia. It's good to see you, sweetie. Sorry, my phone was, my internet cut off. So it makes sense with CB degree with Palace. I was floored when you told me that. Yeah, that's why I wanted to tell you about it, because it's interesting. And when you mentioned that degree, I was like, oh my goodness. Like all these like things were going off in my head when you said that. So there's other, where's the other one? There's an asteroid for Honda. I think Lexus has a, I think Honda has a, like if you can pull up the asteroid number for Honda, Lexus, they all have asteroids. Let me see if I can find them. I use them sometimes too. Like if I know a suspect was moved in a Honda, I'll pull the Honda asteroid. I know that sounds crazy, but I do. I mean, let's see if I can find it. And I think I have it saved on the other one. So I think there's like Honda. There's a couple of other asteroids that mean car as well in the asteroid data bank. But car to me is like they're transported. And especially if it's a child and they don't have their driver's license, that's why I like to use it. Because to me, it's like they're moved or they're transported, right? So in his crime chart, in Michael Vaughan's 911 crime chart, I think it's like on the 7th, it's on the 7th house cusp. So that's why, you know, that the open enemy could have possibly transported Michael Vaughan in a car. For Sebastian, I had it in the 1st house. So to me, and it's in Neptune, it's conjunct Neptune by 2 degrees, and it's in a sign of Neptune. So to me, that means that he's hidden as cargo in the car. And I mean, I'm thinking like in the trunk, right? Possibly, allegedly. I mean, hypothetically, that he could be hidden in a trunk of some sort. Oh, hold on. I'm freezing up again. 1 second. Jeez. Sorry. What happened to 4 days after Michael went missing? What happened 4 days after Michael went missing? You mean on the astrology? 4 days later, Pluto comes to the degree of Michael's Chiron in Pisces. That's interesting. What do you think? What do you feel that means? So he went missing on July 27th. So July 27th, 28th, 29th. On the 1st or on the 3rd? How many days are in July? On which date? Because, I mean, I feel that Michael may have been trafficked. I mean, I hate to say that, but it does on the astrology. But if it was in conversation with his mom, I'd want to know what happened that day. 4 days after the 27th, or 4 days after Sarah's dinner, her anniversary dinner that ends up in someone getting a gun pulled on him. You mean after Michael went missing on the, so it would be the July 31st? Okay, let's look. July 31st in 2021. Probably took out all my asteroids, but that's okay. Still gives a good idea. So we still have car, 22 degrees for Michael. The sun and Venus is at 8 degrees. in the house of death and transformation. That's crazy as well. Right here, guys, in Leo, this could be a female. This could be an older male, older than 30. Mars has just, gone through some transformation as well. It's at 1 degrees. And you said look for Pisces and Pluto. Pluto and Capricorn, yeah. So here, issues with relationships as well at an 8 degree. It's death and transformation. The North Node, holy crap, look at all these 8 degrees. Death and transformation of the North Node. Black Moon Lilith has 1 degree. Chris Carr is Henderson PD too. Oh my gosh, really? Holy crap, I didn't know that, Susie Q. That's wild. I'm so glad I told you about that asteroid then. Because, like, the way that Jen, Astrology for Mystics, she's got a lot. She's more layered with her maps than mine. So, I mean, you guys should really check her out. You think so too, Aggie? Okay, that would be great, because anything that you could do to help me would be great. Because it is very complex, and to me, it is confusing, right? That is interesting about Sebastian, though. I find that, and like with another thing here that I've matched up with Michael. I know we're jumping around from back to back, but here on Michael, right here, and supposedly Stacey Wondra did say something about this landfill right here, but look at the name of this street, this road. It's spelled Carr, Carr. So, and I'm not sure if Stacey Wondra said that he went to this landfill or not, but it's called the Clay Peak Road, Clay Peak Landfill. And when I was looking back, just gathering places, and because he's a taxi cab driver and he drove all over that day. But the name of this road in Michael Vaughan's case is Carr Estatal, Carresteatal. So, it's showing up in the 7th house next to Mercury, and the DC line was ruling, Mercury was ruling the DC line, and then I have Mercury in the 7th house, which can rule an open enemy, and then I had Carr in there too, so that's why I wanted to pull it as well. So it's another, it's just another weird coincidence how astrology talks to us. Does it mean that Stacey Wondra is guilty? Of course not. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that it's pretty interesting in my own opinion. I think it's very interesting that this road means Carr, and that, Carr is showing up as an open enemy as well. Hey, Beyond the Veil. It's good to see you. We're looking at the astrology mapping for little monkey Michael Vaughan, who went missing July 27th, 2021. And I'm trying to map out a location using location astrology. So you take the last known location that Michael was seen and it reported. So this area here was the last known location that he was seen walking, right here. Okay, this area right here is the last known location of Michael. and then I map out the planets on the day that he went missing. So the purple lines are a day that the suspects had 911 called and had commotion at their house, and it's when law enforcement really starts to tune in to these suspects. So the purple line is me doing another map on top of this. But this is the red lines are July 27th. And the blue and the purpley blue lines are April 13th, 2022, when 911 was called. Now, this line of Jupiter, it does rule Michael on his crime chart when Michael went missing. And it does map out to their backyard. Here is the suspects, the wanderers, and you can see here that I do have the line of Jupiter going right into their backyard. And I'm not the only astrologer that has mapped this out. Here's a mile marker on the chart as well for the crime chart. And a mile marker can tell you, you know, that something could have happened on these at this distance, right? To pay attention to this distance that the astrology tells us about. That it's basically a mile marker stamp that either you're going to see a suspect, or where a suspect lives, or where the victim might be, or where the victim frequented, or where the suspect frequented. It could be a bar that the suspect always hangs out at, or it could be the suspect's house. It could have something to do with the crime. Our cell phone could have pinged on some of these mile markers. So that's why I really like to use the mile markers, because it kind of brings stuff home and just validates more stuff. So I have a mile marker that is showing up as a mile marker in the astrology, and it's right near these suspects' home. And then I have a planet that crisscrosses here and goes right through the suspect's backyard. And, you know, you just can't make that stuff up. It's kind of crazy. And now I'm trying to map out planets for when law enforcement started to get, you know, tune into them. These purpley blue lines are months later for another chart shooting out of their house. And I'm just trying to see if there's any connection or if any of the lines are matching, and they are, especially with planets like Pluto and Saturn. I think we should pay attention to them. So I really hope law enforcement searches this Snake River along these bushes and here. This is a water processing plant or something, or water, maybe there's like a water treatment plant or here. There's some water runoff through here. This is another area that they should definitely check through here, these bushes in here for Michael Vaughan. You know, because it's mapping this area out on two maps, on two different dates, revolving around Michael, okay? Because it's Michael's chart, really. It's Michael who we're looking for. And Michael is the question that's in the back of my head when I pull these charts. So this whole area in here, this lane here, East Lane, North, ELNN. These are some really weird roads. Ash Avenue up in here. This pond here should really be searched, okay? This whole area in here really needs to get searched. Because it's mapping out two different time frames, months and months apart, okay? And I find that interesting. So this area in here, all along the shoreline, through here, it looks like there might be a creek runoff here. That should be searched as well. I'm going to map him, Juni, so we can discuss it together. We are looking possibly for a business with water. Yeah, this looks like a business with water too. Okay. Because of the Capricorn, you think? Is the business? Oh, damn, my phone. My internet is dying. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but it is really shaky and spotty, guys. I'm really sorry. So I'm going to cut it short because my internet is so bad tonight. But I just wanted to kind of look at a couple of the arrest dates. Then I'll also pull up Stacey's arrest date and see if, you know, map out a couple of other planets on that chart as well, and to see if they map up with any of these lines from the original 911 chart. Yeah. That would be great. I would really appreciate it, because this is another like Summer's case and little Michael Vaughan's case is very difficult because they went to so many different places. You know, the people who are listed as suspects, they drove all around. Same thing with like the Skeleton Brothers. That guy, he drove all around too. So like I have a hard time when a suspect is driving all over the place and going from spot to spot to spot. So I mean, because I'm still learning, I struggle with well, one, I struggle if there's multiple victims. I struggle if there is multiple suspects, like for Michael's case. I mean, it's not that well, maybe struggle is not the word. Like, I get the concept of it, and I understand what I'm supposed to do. I know how I'm supposed to do it. But I think I just get nervous because there's so many suspects involved. So, you know, that's why I'm really tuned into Mercury, because there's multiple people involved here for Michael's case. Mercury is on the DC. Gemini is on the DC, and then Mercury is sitting in the 7th. So to me, there's multiple people involved for Michael. You know, so I think because I'm so new at this, when there's multiple people involved or multiple suspects, multiple victims, or that the suspects drove all over the place, I really struggle with those kinds of charts. So whatever you could help me with. I'm live, honey.
I know. I got a package for you. Don't show it online to crazy fanatics, please.
Why?
Because there might be there's your address on it. Don't show it to people.
Okay. Sorry, my daughter always has to tell me to be good, to remember to be internet safe. She's always telling me. Is this a gift?
I don't know. It's yours.
It's got. How do you know it's mine?
It's Kelly.
It's yours. Here. It's for you.
It's for me.
It's probably your noodles. Yeah. Everything that comes here, Kaden, is for you. Duh. Every package that comes in, it's always for you. Okay. Yeah. It does. The map displays past, present, future. I know.
Oh, you got me more of this?
More. I got you more of your favorite noodles. Yeah. Because you can't get them at the grocery store. They're special noodles. I have to
I
get
want a different flavor.
Okay. I'm shipping them in from China.
Thank you.
They're your favorite. Okay. Yeah, so the map will tell us, like, you know, the past, present, and future of a crime. And everything in between, really. I mean, and we probably won't figure it out until after a crime is solved. And then when a crime is solved and they find the body, and I go back and I look at my map that I did, I'm like, oh my gosh, all the mile markers and the lines, it adds up and it makes sense. And that's the amazing thing about astrology, is that all of these lines and all of these planets are representing something to do with Michael Vaughan's disappearance. The past, the present, the future. You know, it's just, it's his little life, guys. It's his little world of what happened to him. And I have to say, I think it's of God. I mean, I don't know what all of you guys believe in, but I mean, I believe in God, and I truly believe that this is God talking to us somehow. He's communicating with us through the planets. I truly believe that it's his language, and it's universal. It's so everybody can understand it, okay? I mean, it's not that hard to understand that this line represents our victim, and it goes right through the suspect's house. That can't be a coincidence, but, you know, I have to say that, you know, it could be a coincidence. It might not have anything to do with them at all. They could be completely innocent, and I don't know. I don't know. It's, you know, they're given the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law. But it is very interesting that that goes right through their house. Like, I can't, and look, it's right by the shed, even. That's crazy. Okay, yeah, I have to go finish cooking too. All right, I love you guys. I just wanted to jump on and see if any of the planets from the chart with, you know, with Sarah's anniversary dinner matched up to the original 911 chart. And some of the important planets do. So I'll work more on the maps, and then we'll come back in and we'll try to... I need to figure out the day that Stacey Wondra was first taken in. That was another time frame I'm struggling to find. I have all kinds of dates of when they got arrested, when they were released. But I would like to know the day that that Stacey was taken in. I got everything for Sarah, because I have Sarah released and arrested. I have all her dates written down. Let's see, November 18th, they start digging up the backyard. November the 12th is failure to report a death. November the 11th is when the search warrant is issued. So I might pull up these dates as well and just pull up the, like, just to see if on November 12th, when she has failure to report a death, if it matches up to Michael's 911 chart. You know, I'm really interested in seeing that as well. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay warm, look after one another, take care of one another. Prayers for California right now. Prayers for everyone that went through, you know, Hurricane Helene, and they're still recovering for that. I mean, you know, our country is really struggling right now, so just continue to pray for everyone. And the devastation in California is just heartbreaking. So be good to one another and pray for one another and look after one another, okay? Send good vibes, even if you don't pray or believe in God or anything, that just send positive vibes to California and everybody, you know, getting over the hurricanes and everything this past year. All right. Blessings to you all. Take care. Bye-bye now. Blessed be.